What if the luxury bags you admire, even the iconic Hermès Birkin and Kelly, aren't crafted in Paris or Italy, but made in secret factories in China? This revelation could shatter everything you thought about luxury fashion. Hermès bags, like the Kelly and Birkin, are often seen as symbols of unmatched craftsmanship, requiring up to 20 hours to complete and years of artisan training. But whispers from manufacturers claim the reality is far different. These workers allege that the bags are produced in high-tech factories, not intimate Paris ateliers, challenging the brand's heritage story. Inside the Hermès bag production. Hermès bags, like the Kelly and Birkin, are often seen as symbols of unmatched craftsmanship, requiring up to 20 hours to complete and years of artisan training. But whispers from manufacturers claim the reality is far different. These workers allege that the bags are produced in high-tech factories, not intimate Paris ateliers, challenging the brand's heritage story. It starts with 30 distinct cuts of leather and can take 20 hours to complete. 4 hours for just the handle. Artisans rely on their training and muscle memory to make every bag. The finishing touches, like on the Kelly, are considered the most difficult, demanding immense skill and precision. Yet, some of those very artisans have stepped out of the shadows, exposing what they call an overpriced and overhyped illusion in fashion history. The thousands of dollars spent, they say, aren't truly for craftsmanship or heritage. Instead, they argue it's for branding. According to these factory workers, they are the ones sewing the bags, not some artisan in a candlelit workshop in Paris. The allegations from Chinese manufacturers. Several Chinese manufacturers have stepped forward with behind-the-scenes footage, allegedly showing the production of what they claim are real Hermès bags. Same leather, same hardware, same stitching. These videos gained traction on platforms like TikTok, exposing what many believed was an untouchable luxury secret. The manufacturers openly call these bags authentic, which threw a grenade into the luxury space, because if the bags are being made overseas, what exactly are consumers paying for? They claim that their factories produce Hermès bags that are indistinguishable from those sold in high-end boutiques, but at a fraction of the cost. One factory worker even revealed that a Birkin bag costing customers over $30,000 only costs about $600 to make in their factory, including premium leather, skilled labor, and hardware. This staggering claim challenges the long-held belief that these bags justify their exorbitant prices through artisanal craftsmanship and heritage. They allege that the only real difference is that products are shipped to Europe, where a "Made in France" or "Made in Italy" label is slapped on to create the illusion of exclusivity and old-world craftsmanship. This practice, often referred to as brand washing, tarnishes the luxury image by hiding the real origins of the bags. Their videos not only revealed shocking production details, but also mocked the huge markup on these bags. Despite massive public interest, Hermès responded with fierce legal action, filing lawsuits accusing the manufacturers of defamation and unauthorized reproduction of intellectual property. Hermès denied all allegations, insisting every product is handcrafted in France by highly trained artisans, and maintains a closely guarded supply chain with no third-party involvement. However, for many consumers, these denials felt like corporate damage control in the face of undeniable visual evidence. The revelations have ignited a fierce debate online, shaking the perception of what luxury really means and deeply questioning the authenticity of high-end fashion. Hermès' legal response and backlash. When these allegations surfaced, Hermès swiftly launched lawsuits accusing the manufacturers of defamation and intellectual property theft, calling the claims false and damaging to the integrity of the brand. However, the damage to Hermès' image was already done. The public began questioning what they were really paying for. Hermès doubled down in their official statements, insisting every product is handcrafted in France, assembled by elite artisans who undergo years of training, and that their supply chain is closely guarded. They denied any unauthorized third-party involvement, labeling the accusations as outright lies. Behind the scenes, insiders revealed chaos within the company, with executives scrambling and internal memos warning of a brand reputation emergency. One source even claimed Hermes feared that even winning lawsuits wouldn't restore lost trust. This situation triggered a public relations nightmare, as consumers saw unsettling footage and started doubting the aura of exclusivity Hermes has long maintained. Social media exploded with side-by-side comparisons of real and alleged factory-made bags, leaving many to wonder if they had been paying tens of thousands for illusions. Some Hermes resellers began pulling listings, resale prices dipped, and collectors questioned the authenticity of bags they had valued for years. This wasn't just a legal battle, it was a meltdown of public trust, threatening the foundation of Hermes' image as the pinnacle of handmade, generational quality. As the controversy spread, the luxury market faced an unprecedented crisis, and Hermes' response showed that behind the polished facade, even the most prestigious brands can be vulnerable when trust is broken. The true cost versus retail price. Insiders revealed that producing a Birkin or Kelly bag costs roughly $600, including premium leather and skilled labor. Yet some bags sell for upwards of $38,000, marking up the price nearly 65 times. This staggering gap has fueled outrage over what customers are truly buying from luxury brands. Many believe that the price justifies the heritage, craftsmanship, and exclusivity. But when the actual production cost is exposed as surprisingly low, the whole narrative starts to unravel. It's not just about materials or labor. It's about branding, perception, and the illusion of rarity. Luxury houses have mastered selling a story as much as a product. They insist that years of artisan training and handcrafting justify the steep prices. However, the allegations from manufacturers suggest that much of the production is automated or done overseas in cost-effective factories. The markup then becomes less about quality and more about marketing. This realization has led to waves of consumer skepticism. Buyers are questioning if they're paying for a bag or simply buying into a symbol of status. The idea that a product can cost $600 to make, but be sold for tens of thousands, feels less like luxury and more like an exclusive form of extortion. Social media exploded with side-by-side comparisons of factory-made bags versus official ones, showing microscopic differences, if any at all. When the true numbers come out, the fantasy around luxury pricing takes a big hit. Consumers want transparency. They demand more than just a label or a story. In the end, the gap between real cost and retail price has opened a Pandora's box for luxury brands, forcing them to defend not just their products, but the entire mythology of luxury itself. Industry-wide implications and other brands. The Hermes controversy opened a floodgate of rumors around other luxury houses like Prada, Louis Vuitton, and Chanel, with accusations that parts of their production also occur in outsourced factories abroad, then final labels are added in Europe. The silence from these brands has left consumers skeptical. Whispers started circulating that Prada handbags might be stitched in the exact same Chinese factories as Hermes, only shipped to Italy later to have made in Italy tags sewn on. Louis Vuitton faced similar allegations, with reports claiming some of their iconic monogram pieces are assembled in countries like Spain and the US, yet carry inflated European price tags because of the brand name. Chanel wasn't spared either, with insiders questioning the origins of some of their classic pieces. Their persistent silence has been deafening, failing to quell the growing doubts among loyal customers. In fact, some factory insiders reportedly worked across multiple luxury brands, using the same materials and construction lines but simply switching logos. This has led to a devastating realization for consumers. Luxury brands aren't necessarily selling superior quality, but selling better stories. The fantasy of true treasure quality craftsmanship is collapsing as these hidden connections and outsourcing practices come to light. As this truth unravels, trust in these elite labels is eroding fast, forcing the entire industry to face a public reckoning. Consumers are demanding transparency, refusing to blindly pay premiums for stories that may no longer hold up. The ripples of Hermès exposure have turned into waves, shaking the foundations of the entire luxury world. Consumer trust and market fallout. Discovering that some iconic Hermès bags might be mass-produced overseas triggered a fallout in resale markets and among collectors. Platforms started flagging suspicious listings, and buyers questioned the authenticity of their investments. The once untouchable aura of luxury has been dented, creating a crisis of confidence. Comment sections flooded with users asking why they should pay $25,000 again if the same bag can be produced for a few $100. Even worse, some resellers allegedly began pulling listings, deepening uncertainty. Auction houses, consignment platforms, and third-party luxury verifiers were overwhelmed, struggling to keep up with the rising tide of authentication demands. Some started issuing internal audits. Others flagged listings for further inspection, code words signaling panic behind the scenes. Collectors began to pull out, and prices dipped significantly. On social media, it was an absolute bloodbath. Former customers roasted Hermès defenders, calling them brainwashed, elitist sheep, and willing participants in a luxury Ponzi scheme. One viral comment summed it up perfectly. "I didn't buy a bag, I bought a delusion, and now I want my money back." This was more than a PR nightmare. It was a credibility meltdown. The foundation of the Hermès image, its aura of elite, handmade, generational quality, shattered overnight. Buyers are now asking brutally honest questions. How do I know this isn't one of the exposed bags? Why did I pay six figures for something that might have been mass-produced like a knockoff? The trust once placed in the brand feels broken. This crisis ripples across the entire resale market, shaking confidence in luxury purchases everywhere. Changing perceptions of quality and origin. Traditionally, goods made in China were often viewed as inferior, a notion deeply ingrained in consumer minds for decades. However, modern Chinese factories have transformed the landscape, producing high-quality goods that often match or even exceed European standards. This shift is reshaping long-held beliefs about the origin of luxury products. The idea that made in China automatically means cheap or low quality is being challenged like never before. Factories now utilize ultra-efficient, high-tech production lines and skilled workers, pushing craftsmanship to new levels. This evolution is forcing consumers to rethink what really defines quality. Is it the label, the story, or the actual product? Many previously loyal luxury buyers are starting to question if traditional luxury houses are more about branding than genuine artisan skill. And while heritage and artisanal legacy still play a role, transparency is spotlighting inconsistencies between the image and reality. This increased visibility could ultimately democratize luxury by stripping away costly myths, making the market more about value and less about mystique. However, this transition also threatens to disrupt the entire luxury industry. Brands may need to adapt rapidly, embracing openness and evolving narratives to maintain consumer trust. In a world where every production step is scrutinized online, quality is no longer tied solely to origin, but is intertwined with authenticity and honesty. This paradigm shift signals that the future of luxury will be defined less by geography and more by transparency and innovation. The future of luxury brands in a transparent world. With transparency becoming the norm, luxury brands now face an unprecedented challenge, one that could reshape the entire industry. For decades, these brands built their reputation on exclusivity, mystery, and the promise of unmatched craftsmanship. But as the internet exposes every detail, those once impenetrable walls are crumbling. Consumers today demand honesty, authenticity, and proof of origin, forcing luxury houses to rethink how they tell their stories and validate their products. This shift is more than a PR challenge. It's a fundamental change in how luxury is defined. The romantic notion of a master artisan in a dimly lit Parisian workshop, painstakingly crafting each bag, is being questioned, with many wondering if that image matches reality. Modern manufacturing techniques, including those in China, can produce high-quality goods that rival traditional craftsmanship, blurring the lines between heritage and efficiency. For brands to survive, transparency won't just be optional, it's essential. They must open their supply chains, engage openly with consumers, and prove that their value extends beyond logos and marketing fluff. Failure to adapt could mean losing not just sales, but the very trust that sustains luxury's allure. As we watch this transformation unfold, the question remains: can luxury brands preserve their elite status while embracing a new era of openness, or will the myths that fueled their success dissolve under the bright lights of truth? The future of luxury hinges on this delicate balance, and the fallout has only just begun. The luxury fashion world is facing a reckoning. As production shifts behind the scenes and the myths of exclusivity fade, consumers are no longer willing to accept narratives without proof. Whether brands adapt or fall, this exposure is rewriting what luxury truly means. Transparency is becoming the new currency of trust in this industry. The old stories about craftsmanship, heritage, and exclusivity are being challenged every day. Brands that cling to secrecy risk losing their most valuable asset, consumer confidence. The reality is clear: luxury is no longer just about how a bag looks or feels. It's about honesty, authenticity, and transparency in the entire process. As consumers demand more truth, luxury brands must evolve or face an uncertain future. The question remains: in this new era of scrutiny and openness, can these iconic brands rebuild their mystique and maintain their elite status? What seems certain is that the days of unquestioned luxury are numbered. This story is only beginning, and the fallout will continue to reshape the fashion world for years to come.